Let's now answer this question before us. It is taken from VCAR 2015, paper 2, question 3. It reads, the number of students at each level, beginner, intermediate, advanced, or leaving, immediately before the first assessment of the year is shown here. So we've got a whole bunch of students and they're kind of ranked according to their ability before the first assessment. And as you can see, we've got 20 kids who are beginners, 60 at intermediate, 40 who are advanced, and of course, at the very beginning, no one has left yet, so 0 are leaving. Matrix T below contains the percentage of students who are expected to change their ability level or leave the school after each assessment. So for instance here, before each assessment, let's say you were at a beginner. Well, 30% of those who were beginners stay beginners, 40% of beginners go to intermediate, 5% of beginners become advanced, and 25% of beginners leave the school. If we then look at the next one here, you can see that of those that are intermediate, none of them go back to beginners, but 70% of the intermediate will stay at intermediate, 20% of intermediate will go on to become advanced, and 10% of them will leave. So that's kind of how it works. Another interesting one would be leaving. If you've left the school before the assessment, obviously you've gone. So there's just a one there. All right. Let R of n be the state matrix that contains the number of students in the school immediately after n assessments. Let V be the matrix that contains the number of students who join the school after each assessment. So this is important. We have to add on this V here because it's the amount of kids that who join the school after each assessment. So we're definitely going to add that one on. And as you can see, 4 beginners come to the school, 2 intermediate, 3 advanced. And of course, if they're coming, they can't be leaving, so 0 leaving. The expected number of students in the school after n assessments can be determined using this matrix here. So we've got this recurrence relation here that we're very familiar with how to use. Now, the first thing asks us to show the calculations required to determine the expected number of students in the school after 2 assessments. Now, a really important thing to take note of, and which is actually written at the bottom of your page here, is that unfortunately, there is no general rule for transition models of this form. But much like recurrent relations, you'll only ever be asked to calculate these by hand for a maximum of 5 transitions. So we can't, as we normally would when we haven't got this at the end. Normally what we do is we write something like this. Don't write this down, but we could go like t raised to the 2 power times by your initial matrix. You can't use these general rules when you've got this right here. So unfortunately, what it is that you have to do is kind of figure out each level as you go. So let's do that. So if I want to figure out the number of students after 2 years, that means I'm going to have to figure out R1, and then after I figure out R1, then I can figure out R2. Now I'm given the initial amount up here. So our first thing that we're going to write here, and we're going to have to make sure that we give ourselves plenty of room here, is that R of 1 is going to be equal to my transition matrix multiplied by my initial matrix plus the kids that are joining the school. So that means what I'm going to write here, and this is going to take some time, this is what I'm going to write. Oh, if I can see it. Actually, I'm just got it up on another screen here so I can zoom in for a moment. All right, it's going to be 0.3, 0.4, 0.05, 0.25. Then it will be 0, 0.7, 0.2, 0.1, then 0, 0, 0.75, and 0.25, 0, 0, 0, 1. Then I'm going to multiply that by R of 0. So this is my initial. I initially have 20 beginners, 60 intermediate, 40 advanced, and 0 leaving. And then I have to add on the kids that are joining the school, and that is 4, 2, 3, 0. All right, hopefully I didn't take up too much room there. No, that's good. All right. So now I want to type that into my CAS. We'll see how we go. All right, so we come here and we got this one. This is a 4x4 matrix. So we come up here, 4x4, perfect. And I'm going to go 0.3, 0, 0, 0. Then we go to the next one. We go 0.4, 0.7, 0, 0. Then we go to the next one. I'm sure this is exhilarating to watch. 0.2, 0.75, 0. What a way to spend your day. 0.25, 0.1, 0.25, 1. Perfect. Now just quickly glance over it, make sure I haven't made any silly mistakes. That looks pretty good. We're going to times it by, we'll come over here, 4 rows, 1 column. So that's going to be 20, 60, 40, 0. Then I'm going to plus it with this one. We come here, we go up, we go down. This is 4 beginners are coming to the school. 2 of those kids, 3 of those kids, none are leaving. Hit enter, and there we go. So that means what we're going to end up with here is 10, 52, 46, and 21. So we're going to get 10 beginners, 52 intermediates, 46 advanced, and L. And then I can write a little line here. And what was it actually after for me? Show the calculator to determine the number of students expected after 2 years. Well, let's figure out how many kids are at the school after the first year, shall we? So let's just kind of partition this off. That should give us enough room on the other side. I might give it my... Well, as you can see here, at the end of the first year, therefore, at the end of the first year, or after first assessment, after first assessment, I have 10 beginners. That's not how you spell beginners at all. Oh no, that's how you spell beginners. 10 beginners, 52 intermediate. We have 46 advanced. And of course, 21 kids have left the school. Okay. So that means all up, we have 10 plus 52 plus 46 kids. Because of course you wouldn't count the kids that have left. So therefore, after first assessment, there are, I'm not going to have enough room, 108 students. So after the first assessment, there's 108 students, and that's simply by going 10, 52, 46, not including the kids that have left, obviously, because they're no longer at the school. There's 108 students. But we didn't want to figure out how many are after the first assessment. We need to figure out how many are after this, after 2 assessments. So we're now going to do the same thing again. So hold on to your hats. This is going to be real boring. All right, we're now going to go R of 2 is equal to T times R of 1 plus V, which is going to be equal to my transition matrix, which was 0.3, 0.4, 0.05, and 0.25, and 0, 0.7, 0.2, 0.1, 0, 0, 0.75, 0.25, 0, 0, 0, 1. Close that off. We're now going to multiply it by R of 1, which is this one over here. Let's do some color coding to make our lives a bit more exciting, shall we? This one here, I'm now going to bring that over here. So 10, 52, 46, 21. So we come over here. 10, 52, 46, 21. That is my R1. So let me just color code it so you can see that's the same thing as what we had back over there. And then you have to plus V. So, you know, after each assessment, these are the kids that are coming to the school. 4, 2, 3, 0. Bang. All right, now we put this into our calculators, but don't be silly. You know, there's a quick way to do this. We just come up, we come there, and then I would get rid of this. I would come up here, grab my answer, and pop it down there. So this times this plus that, hit enter. And we're going to get these answers here. Remember, you always want to write down exactly what you see in your CAS first. So what do I see here? I see 7. I see 42.4. I see 48.4. And I see 40.2. Close that off. Remember, this is your beginners, your intermediates, your advanced, and then your leaving. All right, so now what we're going to say is therefore after second assessment, we're going to end up with 7. How did I write it over here? 7 beginners. Yeah, I've just wrote it like that. 7 beginners. Beginners. We've got, now I've got 42.4. So that just rounds down to 42. 42 intermediate. I've got 48 advanced. And 40 kids are leaving. So that means overall, and how did I write it over here? I just want to write it the same. After the second assessment, there are, after second assessment, there are, so 42 plus 48 plus 7 will be 97. If I've counted that correctly, let me just double check because I don't want to make a mistake. 42 plus 48 plus 7 is 97. Huzzah. 97. So the thing that I haven't written here that you kind of have to take note of is how many kids are leaving as well. Like 21 are leaving here. But of course, you don't add that on to the total amount of students. And over here, we have 40 kids leaving. 40 leaving. But again, you don't add that on to the total amount of kids in the school. Because what this question wanted, and this video is going for a bit too long for my liking, it says show the calculations required to determine the expected number of students in the school after 2 assessments. After the second assessment, there are 97 students at the school. And that's what we do, 97 students. We are all done. Hopefully that has made sense. I'll see you in the next bit.